Now what we're going to do is focus on conducting meetings. So this involves making sure that your audio and video setup is correct, that you know how to manage participants, share content, record your meetings, and much, much more. So first up are your audio and video settings. What's involved is your camera, your mic, make sure that they're connected, any kind of background settings that you might want to apply if you're going to be turning on your video, as well as the PC, mic, and speakers. So once we switch to the app again, I'm going to go ahead and click this team meeting to join it. So as you can see, there's a join button on the team meeting now. Just click join. And right from the beginning, you get your audio and video options. Now, after you join the meeting, you can still go back and modify your device settings, and that will be found in one of the drop-down menus in your meeting. But for now, you can click the little settings icon and just make sure that your audio is set up correctly, speaker, microphone. If you'll be using your camera, make sure that that is also selected. Now, if you do turn on your camera, you will get the additional background settings in here where you can choose to either blur your background or play around with some of the more fun options that Teams has. But in this case, I won't be turning on my video. Of course, if you'd like, you can mute yourself when you first join the meeting, and that's what I'm going to do. So I muted myself and I'm going to click join now. It'll take a split second, but once you're in, your meeting is running. So from here, you have a lot of different options. And one thing that you have to keep in mind with Microsoft Teams is that there will be constant updates. So just to go over some of the buttons that we have at the top here, we have show participants. We have the chat or show conversation, the option to raise your hand. You also have more actions. So if you click that, this menu is where you can access your device settings again, some additional meeting options such as permissions for your participants and who can join automatically, so on and so forth. Some new features that if they're slowly rolling out, may say preview next to them. We won't be using those today. Or applying background effects, turning on live captions, or starting recording or more. So first up is how to manage participants. So in Teams, you have a lot of different options that you can work with. You have the options for the whole group of people in your meeting, or you have options for individual participants in your list. So some of the options that you have for all of your participants altogether include not allowing attendees to unmute, and this is specifically to attendees. Now, whenever you invite your colleagues to a Teams meeting, they are not classified as attendees. They're classified as participants. And participants are essentially presenters or hosts, whereas you, as the person who organized the meeting, will be the organizer. You can only ever have one organizer for a meeting, but you can have a lot of different participants, which are, again, presenters. And as you can see from this small screenshot that we have here, you can choose individual participants to be attendees, or you can manage a lot of those permissions from the Manage Permissions. So let's say if you want everyone that is added to the meeting to always be an attendee, you can change those options for yourself. But by default, people will be added as participants, which would equal presenters. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to switch to our application. This is our team meeting, which we previously joined. We're going to go ahead and open the Show Participants panel here. As you can see, I have one other participant, but if I want, I can make them an attendee. Now, the other options that we have are for the whole group. So if I had 10 people in this meeting and I wanted to, let's say, download an attendance list. I could do that from the participants options at the top of my participants list. Or if by default I have everyone joining as an attendee, I can choose don't allow attendees to unmute. Once you select that, it will make sure to confirm. So attendees won't be able to unmute themselves. Okay, don't allow. So this user, ITS training student, because they're a participant, they're not an attendee, they can still unmute themselves. Now, if I mark them as an attendee, as you can see, the application itself guides you along the way. So you're changing who can present. So the person that you're making an attendee will no longer be able to present. So let's click change. And so the people that are presenters and the people that are attendees will be grouped separately. If you want to make these changes so that they happen by default, you can go into more actions and then click manage permissions. The meeting options will open in the web view. So from here you can select all the settings that you'd like. If you want everyone to be able to present, you can choose to keep this as everyone. But if you want only specific people to be able to present, you can choose specific people, only me, people in my organization, and who can bypass the lobby. You can change that here. If you're done setting your options, you can just close this tab. So if you want all of those settings to apply by default, what you can do is you can click more actions and then open the meeting options and set up all of your preferences in here. Just make sure to click save. In this case, we're just going to close this and launch the participants again. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this attendee to a presenter. So as you can see, the option is now make a presenter. Other options that you have for your meeting participants include pinning and spotlighting, which just makes sure that you always see them on the screen. Or if you spotlight them, that means that they might be presenting something and you want everyone to be able to just pay attention to that person. I'm going to unpin them. Or if you need to, you can also remove them from the meeting. So the next thing that you can do in meetings is sharing content. There's various different content that you can share, including your whole desktop, a specific window, a PowerPoint file, and this is special, or you can also just share a whiteboard and collaborate. Now, PowerPoints are special because the way Teams has integrated PowerPoint is that while you're presenting, if you allow it, you can have private viewing. So that would mean that all the participants in your meeting can click through and look through the next slides if you would like them to. Now let's go ahead and switch to the application. All right, so we're back in our team meeting and we want to share content. I'm going to go ahead and close the participants pane. And to share content, it's the icon that has an arrow pointing to a screen. So go ahead and click the Share Content button, and a little tray will open at the bottom through which you can choose to share your desktop, any number of windows that you have open, a PowerPoint, or collaborate on a whiteboard, and more. Something to keep in mind is if you're going to be showing a video on your screen and you want users to be able to hear it, don't forget to turn on the include computer sound. So I'm not going to do that, but if your computer detects that your audio is not on or anything like that, it'll notify you to turn it on. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to share a PowerPoint that we previously had shared, but if you don't see the PowerPoint that you need right in the tray here, you can click Browse. If you click Browse, you'll be able to upload a new PowerPoint, or you can also choose to look in your OneDrive. So because we have the one that I wanted to share, I'm going to go ahead and select it in my tray. All right, so I am sharing this PowerPoint with my participants, and right now they have the ability to move through the slideshow at their own pace. Now what I can do is I can turn off the option for them to move through the slideshow at their own pace by clicking this eye icon. Once I point to it, you can see it says prevent participants from moving through shared presentation on their own. So once I click this, it changes to the option to allow them. Now the way you present a PowerPoint in here is by using the arrow keys found within your team meeting. When you're done presenting, you can just stop presenting. You don't have to use the PowerPoint feature that's built into Teams. You can certainly just launch the PowerPoint file manually onto your computer and then run through it the way you would like to run through it. You don't have to use the PowerPoint integration, but that is an option for you. When you're done sharing, you can close the sharing options or hide sharing options. So if you need to, you can share content. If you don't need to, you can turn it back off. Now we're going to take a look at the chat in a meeting. Once you open the conversation pane, you'll be able to send messages. You have the editing options built in to the little messenger area, so you can certainly modify your font. If you would like, you can also insert links, tables, even code snippets. You can send files through the same chat area. You can use the emojis and the stickers. So let's go ahead and switch to the application. So we are back in our team meeting here. I'm going to go ahead and open the conversation area or the chat. In here, just to make this a little bigger, if I want to send a message to my participants, I can type it right in here. If I would like, I can choose to customize the formatting by opening the format options. It's the first little icon at the left of the field here. I can make any text bold or italic or highlight. If I click the more options here, you can see you have a lot of different things that you can work with. You can undo typing, repeat typing, insert a table, insert a link, or if it's some kind of special quote, you can use the quote option. You can also clear all formatting, use bullet list, numbered list. It's really flexible. So you have all those options. If you want to use the emojis, you can click the little emoji icon, and then you have a lot of different things that you can use. And you can also search for emojis. Other fun things that you have are the stickers. You can search for stickers. And when you're ready, you can click the send icon to send your message to your participants, and everyone will see your message. Now, if you want to send a file, what you can use is the attach file option, and then you can upload from the computer. You can also mark messages as urgent or important or standard, and there are specific differences with each one. A standard message doesn't send any kind of reminders or anything. An important message will just be marked differently. It'll be more emphasized. If it's urgent, then all the recipients will be notified every 2 minutes for 20 minutes straight, as long as they haven't acknowledged that they've seen it. They do get the option to acknowledge, yes, I've seen it, and then dismiss it, but you do have those options if you'd like. What are some of the other things that we could do in Teams meetings? You have the More Actions drop-down menu, and this is where you can choose your device settings, look at your meeting notes, meeting options, apply background effects, turn on live captions, start recording, and much more. And another thing to keep in mind is that you have many more options to work with if you're using the desktop or Windows app. If you just stick to the web app, you're going to get a limited experience in pretty much everything that you do in Teams, but especially your meetings. So we're going to switch to the application again. So in our team meeting, our more actions are right here. And if I would like to, I can turn on live captions, for example. And right now, it's not really going to display anything here because I have my microphone muted in this meeting itself. But the closed captions icon does appear at the top left, indicating that they're on. So these are automatic captions, and it means that they will most likely not be 100% accurate. So just keep that in mind, but it is an option that you have. I'm going to turn them off for now. Something else that you could do is you can start recording. And by default, all of your Microsoft Teams meeting recordings are saved to the cloud. They're actually saved on another app, and it's called Stream. So once you start recording, you get an indicator at the top left, as well as a message across pretty much everyone's screen that recording has started. You can dismiss this. And if you are done recording, what you could do is go back to More Actions and then select Stop Recording and confirm Stop Recording. All right. Now, before we dismiss the message here, it does tell you that you can find the link to the recording in the meeting chat history. So your meeting chat history is special in that it saves everything. And you can already see a link for it in here. If you click the More Options on the meeting recording itself, you can see that you have the option to open it in Microsoft Stream, or just get a link to it if you are ready to share. You can share through the built-in option to share, or just report any issues that you might find, but it's all there for you. Now, other things that are special for Teams meetings include that you can certainly leave your meeting running in the background and still continue to use the rest of Teams. So, for example, if you need to open a file, or if you need to look at a recent calendar item or a certain chat that you had with someone, you can still use Teams while your meeting is running. And that is true for both the web app and the desktop app. So switching to application now, I have my team meeting running here, and I can choose to minimize this. I'll get a little window here, kind of like a picture-in-picture, telling me that my meeting is still running. If I want to switch back to my meeting, I can click this window and it'll open up the full screen of the meeting, but I'm going to minimize it again. And I can switch to chat. I'll still see my team meeting running at the bottom right. I can go to my calendar or calls, files, anything that I might need. Of course, when you're done with your meeting, you can either leave the meeting or end the meeting. So the difference is, if you leave a meeting, it means that you would like your participants to have the option to continue the meeting without you. If you end the meeting, it will end the meeting for all participants. So let's switch back to our application. So in our team meeting here, we see a red leave button at the top right corner. If we click leave, it'll just close the window and you won't be in the meeting anymore. This might be helpful if you have conflicting meetings, if they're occurring at the same time. You just want to leave real quick and then be able to come back later. You can just use the leave option. If you're the organizer, then you will get the option to end the meeting. So that is found in the drop-down next to leave. In this case, I will click end meeting, and Teams will confirm you'll end the meeting for everyone. Would you like to do that? Yes, so I'm going to click end.